capital is very, very close to my heart. I'm sure I don't know how many people here know that they're one of our investors. So obviously, they definitely believe in community as a part or a strategy that can help products actually succeed. So I'm super, super excited to be here. So background, I'm just going to delve into it, right? A community is a social unit of different people who either have the same beliefs or the same norms or come from the same place, so, or you can be from the same church. You can have a community of accountants, of marketers, different communities. And why communities are so important is because you will not just have access to information, you have access to people of like minds that you can delve, ideas with, and you get the same mindset or similar mindsets that can either help you, your personal life or your business or your career, to the next level. That's why community is very important, because guess what, this world is can be very lonely. A lot of people don't have access to the kinds of friendships that some people have been able to build from when they were young. So now, as we're getting older, as we're delving into entrepreneurship, it's important to have a community that you're a part of. So I'm part of several communities. I have my community, which is Herconomy, which is we're passionate about the empowerment of women. And how this community even came about is so funny, because I launched a book called Accessing Grants for Startups, where I was trying to democratize opportunities for entrepreneurs. So basically, I had won different grants and different fellowships, and people kept on asking me, "Oh, if I'm interested in this, how did you get access to this information? How did you get access to this grant? How could you apply professionally to be able to get into some of these circles that as like they're so difficult to reach? How did you get to the World Bank, for example? Because I sit on as a youth advisor to the World Bank on youth unemployment issues through one of their platforms that they created called Solutions for Youth Employment. It's called S4YE for short. And so people just kept on asking me, and I was just tired of responding to everybody at different times. So what did I do? I said, you know what, let me create a community where I could actually teach people how to democratize these opportunities. And that was how the community actually started. So basically, we used to share information, and I tried to make it female focused because I wanted to reach a certain kind of people. So I made it female focused. So what was my goal? Women who wanted to empower themselves, women who wanted to connect with other women, women who wanted to share their stories and take either their businesses or their careers to the next level. Some of the things that we started doing was educating them on different topics, whether it's financial education, whether it's how to budget, how to network as an introvert, just different topics that were relevant to women. So every week we had capacity building workshops. So little by little we started building the community and building the community, and it started fledging out and fledging out. And that was how the Herconomy community came about. I'm also part of another community, which is like a tech community, where we have different pitching sessions, we have different events. Even with Herconomy, we have different events where we go out, meet other people, network with other people, and so many beautiful things have come out of that community. And I'll give a few examples, and because obviously we're talking about community. We had a community member who was murdered actually by her spouse, and eventually he committed suicide. So the children were left as orphans. What did we do as a community? We came together to help. That's another reason why community is important. And this creates a ripple effect of how other people see the importance of being, relevant to that community, communicating, because anything can happen to anybody, right? So there are different community, there are different benefits of being part of different communities. What we did in this instance, we came together to create a trust fund for their children, so the children can actually go to continue education. So it was like an education trust fund. Now we're going into product, right? A product is basically any item that you sell, or any product or item that you sell to serve a particular type of customers. So there are different kinds of products. So Herconomy, for example, is a product. We have other products that exist. There are other and as we go into the presentation, I'll give examples of different products that have communities that has been explosive started. So products can either be physical products, or they can actually be software products, for example. But for the purpose of this session, I'm sure we're talking about more virtual products that can help. But I'm sure there's some entrepreneurs here that have physical products, so you can actually still build a community out of your physical products. The goal is for most of the people in that community to like the products, like have the same beliefs, have the same ideas of what they're trying to build. So how can you build a community around your products, right? Number one, you have to create a safe space for them to be able to connect with each other. So this can either be online, or it can be offline, or it can be hybrid. So for example, with Herconomy, we used to do a lot of virtual sessions. So all our capacity building sessions, or let me say 70% of our capacity building sessions, were online. Every 2 weeks we'll come on Zoom, or we'll use Google Meets, and we'll just we'll pick a topic, talk about it. And we also made the community members also send us topics that were relevant to them, topics that they wanted to know about. Sometimes they can say, oh, I want to learn more about branding. We'll look for a branding expert. This expert can come from either the community, or it can come from outside of the community. But obviously, these are people that have knowledge on that particular subject matter. You bring them on board and they talk. So that way, there's that connection. We also have a physical, so we have physical events. Sometimes we go to even our community members spaces to have in-person networking events that actually fosters more relationship, or collaboration. Sometimes we all decide, okay, this month we're all going to go to the beach together. We come forward, we have the beach event. Sometimes we're like 200, 500 people at the event. In fact, today we actually have a community event where over 500 people who believe in the products are coming together to celebrate women, because obviously our goal is obviously to empower women. Another thing you can do when you're trying to build a community around your product is to activate and reward that community. So for different people, this might mean different things. It can be creating a loyalty program. It can be maybe doing like having different stars on the person's name, that the more you communicate, or depending on how active you are in the community, you get like 1 star or 2 star or 3 stars. Another community can say, oh, okay, the more you spend, depending on what the product is, you get discounts. For example, for Herconomy, once you start saving with us, you get discounts across different brands. So because we are female focused, we have a lot of female or women centric lifestyle products that are relevant to our target audience. So for example, what is relevant to the people who are within our community? They need to go to the salon, they need to go to get discounts in different pharmacies, or gynecologists, because what is female focused, or different events. They can get discounts on different events, just different products and services that are relevant to women, so you can activate and reward that community. Another thing you can do is to let your audience, and I would like this session to be very interactive, please, so you can put in questions in the comment section. I'll try to be looking at it so that I can respond to the questions as they come, or we can either actually wait till 15 minutes towards the end so that I can take questions. Another thing you can do to build your community is to let your audience be part of the brand development. This is absolutely true. So when we were creating Herconomy, so before, like I said, we were called AGS Tribe, right? And now we wanted to change our name to Herconomy. I was in a state of confusion. I was like, oh my gosh, we've gotten so much traction with AGS Tribe. I had done events all over the world, not even in Nigeria. A lot of people knew us, knew we had been in the media for different things. We had won different awards as AGS Tribe. I was so confused, like, how should I make this change without it being, without it having a negative effect on my brand? What did I do? I allowed our customers, obviously, our community members who are our audience, to be part of that process. So I came online and I asked them, guys, what do you think about us changing our name to Herconomy? And we did like a voting thing. People started voting. Over 500 people voted, and over 60 or 70% of people said, oh, change the name, and we like this new name, right? So they were part of the process, and I showed it was very clear. A lot of people understood why and the reasons why I wanted to change the name. I did some research. I also found out that in countries like America, tribe has started looking like a negative word, like nigger. So people don't necessarily want to relate to tribe. So I kind of like explained my thought process around it. Also wanting to now pivot to financial services as well. Herconomy, is very clear what we do. Women and economy, her economy. It was very clear. So a lot of people were like, okay, this sounds good. So 70% of people who voted that we should actually change the name. So obviously they were part of that brand development process. And I didn't end there. When it was time for us to create the logo, I had like different options of different logos. I sent it out to our community members. Which one do you prefer? That one, 90% of people chose the same logo. It was so beautiful to just see the response from from the audience, which obviously are community members. So when you take them through that process, it becomes easier. Your transition is easy. You're able to get the feel of what your community members want, so that you're not just making changes and just say, oh, you guys already are community members, so you like us anyway, we are going to impose whatever we feel you want. That way you start losing customers, right? So you need to really, really carry your customers along, or your community members, which obviously are your customers. You're building your products, you're not doing a charity. Another thing you should do is to pick a platform that works best for you. For some people, it's WhatsApp. If you have a community that I think now WhatsApp has extended groups to I think 1,000. Before, when we were just starting, it was about 225 people on WhatsApp, so we couldn't have more than that. So we had to move the community to Telegram, which had capacity to take more. We also leverage social media as well to communicate to our members. I also leverage emails. So every Sunday, our community members receive an email from me, and it's very heartfelt, very direct. I tell them about my week. I tell them about opportunities that are in the ecosystem, because I know my audience, I know my community, I know what they want. Sometimes they want encouragement. Sometimes the week must have been bad for everybody. Sometimes some people might be feeling down because of the current economic climate. Inflation is climbing high. I know what to say, every week, so that I'm talking to their innermost mind and they're connecting with me. Right. So there are different ways. So you choose the platform. You don't have to leverage all. For some people, it's Twitter. Some people have huge Twitter, communities, and they communicate with their audience on that community. If they want to push out a product, by the time they just post it on Twitter, it goes around like wildfire. Everybody's spreading the word and everything. I personally, for social media, I leverage Instagram. Once I post something, like today, we just dropped a video on like a fairy tale horse and carriage delivery of our for our gala that's happening this evening, and we dropped it, and I've seen our community members, without asking them, they're posting it. If we're ready, we're coming, blah blah blah. So it just creates that excitement, and they're part of the process, right? So yeah, pick the platform that works best for you and stick to it. For some other people, it's also Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks is like a community of communities. So you can build your own community off of Mighty Networks. So when we were even looking to create our own app, I started thinking, should I just leverage Mighty Networks? Because on the front end, you can make everything look like Herconomy, or whatever your product is. If it's a software product that you are trying to build, you can make everything, or software community product you're trying to build, you can make everything look like your brand, because it's almost like private labeling. Instead of you going straight away to go and build a technology platform by yourself, because sometimes it might be very difficult and expensive, you can leverage that platform. So there are different things that you can do. Also, leveraging user generated content. So on your page, for example, let's say you're using social media, or if you're even using Twitter or any of all these platforms that I had mentioned before, it's important for your content to be relatable. You can't just be posting content as you like everything, properly done. It just looks fake. Everything, you have a professional videographer. Once it's user generated content, post post it like that in real time. Don't You don't necessarily have to overthink it, except you're a brand that is focused on aesthetics, right? So it's important for you to leverage user content, share information of your community members, their successes, their wins, their losses. It feels like you're building together. It seems like you're doing something together. So that's why it's important for you to push out user generated content, because the community members also know each other. They also know that, oh, okay, person A was able to achieve this. That means I can also achieve it. Oh, person A was able to negotiate for a higher salary. So that will give me the motivation to negotiate for a higher salary. So it just gives you that ginger that you know what is happening with other community members and all of that. And a lot of brands have thrived from this. And like I said, as we continue to go, I'll give you examples of how certain brands have been able to leverage their communities at different times in their growth trajectory. Also, develop a social mission. I think this should even be number one. So every community should have a goal, should have um, like a DNA. I'll call it a DNA of why the community is built. So for Herconomy, for example, the goal is women empowerment in whatever form. Everybody that comes to Herconomy, that likes Herconomy, wants to see women prosper, right? At the heart of it. If you don't want to see women prosper, you will never come to our event, except you just want to come and, copy and paste or do something else with information. You would not really relate to the information that we're passing out. So it's important for you to have a mission. Why are you here? Why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to change? Is it a mindset shift? Are you trying to build a community for financial literacy? Like what Money Africa is doing. So there's so many, communities that you can build, and you can build a product from the community, or you can build a community for your product. So it's pari passu. So that should be the first thing to think about. Why am I actually building?
I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Oh, you can't hear me again? Okay. Oh. Can you hear me now? Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I hear me. So maybe it's you.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Maybe it's my end. I can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So these I'm going to give you guys real life examples of brands that have successfully built communities out of their product. And so, and I like the fact I wanted this to be as diverse as possible, which is why I have a human being, who is Beyonce, because Beyonce is actually a brand. I'm sure you guys know Beyonce's brand or her community is strong. Beehive, if you say anything bad about Beyonce, they will come for you, they will cancel you, they will they will do anything to just make that story die, right? Beyonce is the epitome of that brand that she has built is absolutely fantastic. That you can almost sell it, right? So she's built that community. Anything she's doing, anything she wants to sell, whether it's tickets to her shows, whether it's her album that she's launching, she will just come one day and boom, launch it. It goes viral immediately because she has created that beehive community. I'm not sure if she was even the one that came up with the name Beehive, or if it was even maybe her community manager or community or potential community member that created it. But she did not just create it, it's also a named, let me not say she created it, it's also a named community, the Beehive. So you would even see people in Nigeria that will come and say, I'm a Beehive, like they are there. Same with Rihanna, she has her own Rihanna Navy. When they come for it, once they drop something, everybody's buying. Doesn't matter who you are, everybody's buying it, right? So that's one of the people who have successfully built that, and it's actually working for them for sales. It helps to improve sales, their visibility in different countries where they probably wouldn't have heard of them, but because they have community members in those places, they continue to spread the good works that they are doing. Apple, you guys, like Apple has built, because of Apple's community, right? Apple has built a community that has helped them go from bankruptcy in, I think, 1997, now becoming like $1 trillion company. And this was all because Apple built like a fantastic community. If they didn't have that community, whenever they launch their products, they will announce it to their community. They will go and wait outside the queues they'll stay outside their offices, wherever they're selling, to make sure that they actually have access to that product that is about to launch. They're the ones that will, they're almost like they're marketers. Obviously, Apple has a proper marketing and all of that, but these people are their marketers, their community members are their marketers, and they also give them feedback, real life feedback on the product. Now, if you want to go to Starbucks community is excellent. Like, the Starbucks community has led almost 300 innovations, or has led to the implementation of almost 300 products that Starbucks has come up with. And some things that I can think of at the top of my head are things like free Wi-Fi when you go to Starbucks, when you go and get a coffee at Starbucks, right? All those things came from the community members, because they know that the team or the product managers are listening to what they want. So Starbucks created something called the suggestion box, where people just send in suggestions and everything, and people can actually see it, right? And they come out and say, okay, we got this information from the community, we're going to implement this. They feel like their voices are being heard, and it has also led to that implementation, like I said. So more people would even be gingered. They want to suggest more. And you know the feeling of, oh, I said Apple should do this, and they actually did it. That feeling is phenomenal. They will be your champions, they will go far and wide, to promote your product. So Starbucks has really, really benefited from having a strong community for their product. PlayStation. PlayStation is another organization that has really, really hacked this community arm or community leg. So what has PlayStation what did they do? PlayStation created a community, or like an online community of gamers, that allows them to come together, talk about different things, whether it's games or the type of support that they need. And it's clear to see how that network has actually catered for like feedback, for advocacy, and for support. So all the things that you've seen, PlayStation 5 is coming out, they will create the hype, the hype, everything is there. Everybody's waiting for PlayStation. Members have access to getting the products first. All of those things are things that have actually helped PlayStation be relevant till today. Back in the day, in my heyday, when I was a gamer, when I used to game, I used to use Nintendo. Nintendo is still relevant, but PlayStation has, because of the community that PlayStation has built, it helps them grow faster, and actually have a bigger market share than Nintendo and all the other gaming platforms. So yes, we have that's Nintendo. There's also Oracle. Oracle, is also another organization that understands the benefit of having a community. So what their community does is that they connect millions of users who use their platform for, whether it's personal or for business, to come together to just talk. So sometimes they're sharing their own personal stories. Sometimes from these platforms, they can even create their own networks, or mini communities and all of that, and that helps them stay in touch with each other. They know all the other people that are using Oracle, so it almost became like, I don't want to say a cult, but at least they all understand each other. They all know each other, and they have similar likes, and it has helped the Oracle brand grow significantly. So to conclude, it's very, very important that you know that you can start where you are. Everybody will not be an Apple. Everybody cannot be an Apple. Everybody doesn't have to have the exact strategy that Apple executed, or all these other brands executed, like I've mentioned. But you can actually build a strong community. You can actually listen to your users. You can actually communicate with them and let them suggest different features, new features, that you want to build for your brand. And that way, you continue to see that your product roadmap is robust, and you're actually building what your users actually want.